So, are you ready? Today we are starting our 15th class of this series, Most Important Current Affairs. And today we will be doing the May month economy related current affairs. May month has these topics, only these topics. The overall May month has only these topics, 7 topics, okay? So, what I will try to do today, I will try to complete at least 4 topics, okay? Atmanirbhar, Sarfazi, sugar industry, and draft national policy about fishery. And if time permits, I will go ahead. Otherwise, what I will do, I will complete 4 topics, and tomorrow we can do these 3 topics, or otherwise tomorrow we can do these 3 topics and also start with some new section, for example science and technology or environment. That will be a surprise, wait for that. So today at least we are going to do these 4 topics. So let's have some brief introduction. Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, PM Modi announced this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan because of COVID-19 situation. We need extra stimulus in economy. Many people have been unemployed, many people are not working, so we need to care for the poor also, we need to care for the industries also, and also we need to care for the education and health also. All these things have been clubbed together and new plan has come, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So we will deal with the various aspects of the plan, don't worry. Second is Sarfazi Act. Sarfazi Act is not something new, but this is in news because recently Supreme Court has given a judgment. Supreme Court has says that even the state law made cooperative banks will be covered under the Sarfazi Act because banking falls in union list. So we will deal with what is that case, and we will also detail into what is Sarfazi Act. Third topic will be sugar industry in India. This is always in news. Sugar fair and remunerative prices have been very damaging to farmers. Not very much. Also, sugar is selling at very cheap prices. So we need to control the export of sugar. All those things are suggested by a report by Niti Aayog. That is why sugar industry topic is present here. We need to study that so that we will understand the scenario of sugar industry in India. Fourth, draft national fishery policy. Obviously India has a problem in fishery, so we needed one policy. So draft has come. By discussing that draft national fishery policy, we will try to understand what are the problems facing Indian fishery sector. See, the direct questions won't come from drafts and bills, but we need to understand, because once our concepts are clear, we will be able to eliminate the options at least. So these 4 topics. Let's start with Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So once suddenly Prime Minister comes live and announces this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Prime Minister announced this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, and the package a stimulus was rupees 20 lakh crore. Not only a stimulus, we need a planning also. So for that we had, the package was accompanied by large scale structural reforms proposed. It has a premise, it has a principle, and the principle is coming from a Sanskrit shloka. Mata Bhumami Putro Amah Pamivriya. Sorry, I am not able to pronounce it very correctly. Anyway, the meaning is that the culture that considers the earth to be the mother. And what is that culture? Indian culture. So we need to look out for our farmers who are facing the problem, the poor who are facing the problem. The package has tried to address all sectors of the economy, I told you. So what are the different sectors of economy package is trying to address? The problems they are addressing. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5. Part 1 says that businesses including MSMEs need some stimulus. Part 2 says that we need to care for the poor, including the migrants who are facing severe problem in COVID pandemic, and farmers. We need to care for our agriculture. Then there are some new horizons of growth. We need to go into those horizons also, so that sustainability can be maintained, future can be maintained. And fifth part is government reforms and various enablers which will bring reforms. Now through this infographic we will try to study, we will try to understand what is the idea of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we know that it is based on 5 pillars. So what are those 5 pillars? Through this infographic everything will be clear. It says that Atmanirbhar Bharat, the road ahead. So we are trying to care for the future also. And where does this road start? With the road starts from COVID-19 pandemic. So 5 pillars of self-reliant India. First one is economy, second is infrastructure, third is system. Okay, system is about every system should be technology driven. Fourth is demography. India has huge demographic dividend, but that is not being utilized very well, and it is being said that India will lose this extra mileage of demographic dividend if we don't skill our people, if we don't care for them. Fifth one is demand. We need to boost demand in economy. Okay. So first of all, in economy pillar, it says that we need quantum jump. Incremental changes will not be enough, will not be sufficient. We are already having the bottom of our economy. So for jumping, we need that quantum jump. For infrastructure, it says that we need one infrastructure that represents modern India, so that it will act as a framework for the modern India, and remaining developments can be done over that infrastructure. System should be technology driven, very easy. And for demography, it says that we need vibrant demography. Vibrant demography means the skilled demography, the educated demography, the demography which has its health in place. Demand, full utilization of power of demand and supply. Okay, demand and supply power should be attached. Where there is demand, there should be supply. That is the full utilization. Now talk about the package. Package is 20 lakh crore, and that means 10% of your entire GDP. Focus is on land, that means agriculture and everything. Labor, that means employment. Liquidity, I told you, in every sector. In previous class I told you about mutual fund. In some class I will told you about this banking, NBFC. Every sector of India currently is facing the problem of liquidity crunch. Nobody is having the cash, loose cash to spend. And also, focus is on laws also. Then, to cater the laborers, middle class, cottage industry, MSME and industry among others, that is the whole purpose. So, there are some bold reforms proposed. First of all, we need to improve our supply chain, particularly our supply chain in agriculture, because there is huge wastage of food. Agricultural products are rotted in godowns, and when they reach the market, when they reach the consumer, the prices increase. We do not have cold storage, we do not have food processing industries in place. We should have a rational tax system. Rational tax system means tax should be not so high that the consumer avoids it, and the tax should be not so low that government does not earn any revenue at all. Third is simple and clear laws, because so many laws that people are facing problem. Irresponsible litigations because of confusion in laws, duplications and pending court cases. So we need simple and clear laws. We need to codify them, and which laws are not very much relevant now, those should be discarded, those should be written down. Capable human resources, this is about demography. Human resource which is healthy, educated and skilled, and a strong financial system. So these are the conceptual things. A strong financial system means banking, NBFC, everything, cooperative banks, financial inclusion, everybody having bank in Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, very good card payment system, digital economy. This was somehow vague and conceptual thing. Now talk about this plan has got 5 tranche. 5 tranche means a part of something. So the boost is coming through parts. Okay, not whole money will be distributed at the same time and in the same sector. So we are coming with tranche. Modi ji announced. Now what is the rest work? The rest work comes to Nirmala Sitharaman, our finance minister. So first tranche is about lockdown antidote. Antidote means countering the effects of lockdown, the negative effects of lockdown. So what is the antidote? Nirmala Sitharaman said that the features of the first part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan will be this. That is the first tranche. That is what? For small businesses, that means micro, small and medium enterprises, government will be giving emergency credit. That means emergency loan. Just take it and start your business, boost your business. That is 3 lakh crore. And for that, obviously it is emergency credit. So only domestic firms can bid for government procurements up to 200 crore. If there is any procurement happening above 200 crore, then the foreign companies can also participate. But for procurements of domestic companies for procurements below 200 crore, only domestic companies can bid. Okay, you understand what is happening? Government proposes some bids that government will be buying some product from the industry. So for those products, for those bids where the amount is below 200 crore, only our domestic firms will be eligible. That is a very good thing. Make in India. For taxation sections, you see, for employees and taxpayers, what is the scheme? Employee provident fund deductions are now slashed for 3 months to 20% from 24% of salary. You understand that? That will mean that more cash or more liquidity in the employee's hand, because if he was earning 100 rupees, 24 rupees were going to EPF and he was not having it. EPF you can't withdraw. You can withdraw, but you can withdraw later. So now only 20% will go. So that will mean instead of 24 rupees going in EPF, the person will be giving only 20 rupees to EPF. That means 80 rupees in hand. So that will bring some liquidity in the hand. So that will boost consumption. Income tax returns deadlines are also extended. Okay, fine. You give your IT returns later. We will look into it. Not a problem. Just consume and just spend some money. This will enhance take home pay. Okay, take home pay, that means cash in hand, if employers pass it on, but dent retirement savings. Okay, because you are not investing in EPF, the 4% reduction, so retirement saving will be decreased, but at least at this time we need emergency situation, so it is fine. Talk about infrastructure sector. We talked about infrastructure sector. So power PSUs have a problem, I told you in the previous lecture. So power public sector undertakings will be now lending 90,000 crore to a stressed state distribution. Distribution means distribution companies, discoms and all. Extra 90,000 rupees crore will be given. See, state distribution companies. And deadline for reality projects, that is your real estate projects and public infrastructure contracts, those deadlines are extended. So that, okay, fine, pandemic is there, we will deal with situation later. Your deadline is extended, but please sign the MOU and everything and increase your project, not a problem. For financial sector, fresh 45,000 crore partial credit guarantee for non-banking financial companies. Starting from this IL&FS crisis, non-banking financial companies are very much in crisis. So extra 45,000 crore rupees have been given, and the scheme is partial credit guarantee for non-banking financial companies. 30,000 crore special liquidity for microfinance housing finance firms and NBFCs. Microfinance deal with the people directly, so extra money is being given there also. So this will deal with somehow a little bit, at least it will deal with the lockdown issues. Here is the second tranche, and the second tranche theme is self-reliant India campaign. Okay, now we are not depending on other countries because other countries are also facing the problem. So we will be self-reliant. How does that happen? This tranche will be focusing on a package focusing on migrant workers, street vendors, small farmers and the urban poor. So this is all about poor people. See, migrants will be given 3,500 crore for free food grains. Okay, because they are living in a different city or town, and they are not having the manual labor also. They are not having the factory work also. So who will feed them? Government has to feed them somehow. So for free food grain for migrants, 3,500 crore is being given. Under that scheme, 80 million migrants are decided to be given 5 kg wheat or rice per person and 1 kg pulses per family for the next 2 months, and may be extended also if the situation doesn't improve. Also, I told you about One Nation One Ration scheme. So your public distribution card, the ration card, that will be usable in different states also now. In different states, fair pricing shop, you can go. For example, you are coming from Jharkhand. Suppose I am a migrant laborer, so I am coming from Jharkhand and living in Punjab. Now, my PDS card, that ration card, previously was not applicable in the fair price shop of Punjab. But now the government has come up with One Nation One Ration scheme. I can show my Jharkhand card and get some grains from Punjab at very low price or free also. This will benefit, it is being said that this will benefit 670 million beneficiaries in almost 23 states. We talk about affordable housing also. Government funded. Wherever there was government funded housing complexes, we are now converting it to affordable housing complexes so that the people can buy the houses in very cheap price. Government is also saying to the industries that if you build housing complexes on your already purchased land, we will give you some incentives. We will give you the loan at cheaper prices. What about farmers? 30,000 crore rupees. Additional emergency working capital funding through and the funding agency will be NABARD. Government can't give to farmers now in their hand directly the money. So NABARD will be the institution and it will benefit 30 million small and marginal farmers. We need to give them extra credit also at some concessions. So that is 2 lakh crore and that will be given through your Kisan credit card. Kisan credit cards, and it will help 25 million farmers and fishermen also. This is all about agriculture. Now, very interesting thing about street vendors. These vendors were working in various towns and cities, and the cities and towns are now closed down, locked down. So what did they do? They get 5,000 crore rupees from the government, and this is a special credit facility for street vendors so that they can have easy access to credit. 5 million street vendors are supposed to be expected to be benefit from this. For job creation, we are giving 6,000 crore rupees. And where this money is coming from? This is coming from Kampa. You remember the for afforestation and forestation money for any industry cutting the trees? That fund, Kampa fund, will be used to create job opportunities in urban, semi-urban and rural areas also. For families, government is giving 70,000 crore. That will boost housing sector through credit linked subsidy scheme, and those with 6 to 18 lakh income to benefit. Those in the bracket of 6 to 18 lakh income, that people will be benefiting. The families will be benefiting. And our old scheme, Mudra loans. Mudra loans, there is 1500 crore relief for Mudra Shishu loan. You know, Mudra has different kinds of loan. Shishu loan, Kishore loan, Tarun loan. So for this Shishu loan, there will be some relief. Government to provide interest subvention, that means decrease in interest of 2% for a period of 12 months. So suppose I was having going for Shishu loan. So my interest rate was supposed to be 5%. The government will pay my 2% interest rate. So I will have to pay only 3%, but only for 12 months. So let us come to third tranche. Third tranche is booster dose. Okay, fine. Now we are self-reliant. First we dealt with COVID. Now we are self-reliant. Now we need to booster dose. Jump. Okay. This focuses on agriculture and the allied activities. 1 lakh crore funds will be given to agricultural cooperative societies, farmer producer organization or FPOs, startups also, those who are boosting farm gate infrastructure. Farm gate infrastructure, for example, cold storage, food processing industry. 10,000 crores for formalization of micro food enterprises, cluster based farming approach to be followed so that various clusters are integrated together. 20,000 crore for fishermen under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. You should remember this, under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, and that will increase the fish production in our country. Suppose that will increase the fish production in 5 years duration 70 lakh tons. 30,000 crore. You don't need to remember these things, the numbers. Okay, you should remember the idea of it and which sectors are getting the money. Okay, and which sectors are taken care of. What are the problems of different sectors? 13,000 crore drive to achieve 100% vaccination of cattle, because cattle vaccination is very much necessary. If a cattle dies, the farmer also dies. You know that. If a farmer is depending on his cattle and cattle are getting the disease, how will he get the milk and how will he, do some agriculture also, because cattle are being used in agriculture also in poor society. So buffalo, sheep, goat and pigs all will be taken care of. 100% vaccination is proposed by 13,000 crore rupees. Animal husbandry infrastructure will be improved, for example, cow shed. 4,000 crore for promotion of herbal cultivation. This will bring organic cultivation, herbal cultivation, and we can sell it in Ayurvedic market. It has a foreign demand also. 10 lakh hectares are to be covered under this promotion of herbal cultivation by 4,000 crore rupees. Beekeeping initiatives are very much necessary. That brings a huge remuneration, but farmers are not very much aware about it. So 500 crore for beekeeping initiatives also, subsidy kind of. Essential Commodities Act, 1955. That is for continuity of some essential commodities which are supposed to, if they are stopped, there will be crisis. So those commodities are covered under Essential Commodities Act 1955. Those will be amended to deregulate cereals, edible oil, oil seeds, pulses, onion and potato. What does that mean? Under Essential Commodities Act 1955, to reduce the stockpiling of the commodities and maintain their regularities, if anybody stockpiles, that person will be held. Okay, obviously beyond a certain level. So now we are deregulating it for this cereals, edible oil, oil seeds, pulses and onion and potato, so that some storage can be done and the farmer will get the right price after there is demand in the market. Marketing reforms will be undertaken so that the farmer can sell their produce at a prices of their choice. Now see the fourth tranche. It says that breaking down walls. This is for infrastructure, structural reforms. What are the structural reforms? First of all, structural reforms are long-lasting reforms. Coal, commercial mining on a revenue sharing basis to be introduced, not the profit sharing. Suppose a company starts commercial mining. In a revenue sharing model, what does happen? If company is earning some revenue, doing some revenue, even if the company is not earning the profit, she will have to, company will have to share the revenue. So that means by the time the company starts earning some revenue, by the time company starts producing coal, only by that time the revenue will be shared with the government. Companies in the private sector will be allowed to carry out exploration. I told you about this coal mining very much in detail, so not a problem. Minerals, composite exploration come mining come production regime. I told you about this license, that exploration and mining both can be done on a single license. 500 mining blocks will be auctioned now, so some minerals will be produced. Good thing. For defense, a list of weapons platforms for ban on import will be notified. So we will not be importing these weapons from outside or these platforms from outside, and we will be producing it in India only. So that will bring make in India. FDI limit for manufacturing under automatic route to be raised to 74%. For manufacturing it is fine. FDI limit is being increased under automatic route, and government approval will not be needed for 74% of it. Civil aviation, restrictions on utilization of the airspace will be eased so that flying becomes efficient. So many airports can be used now, many airways can be used now, airspace can be used now, so that flying sector will be improved. And flying sector is having a huge problem during this COVID, because and railway also, every sector. Now only 60% of the airspace is freely available, that will be increased. Power departments, utilities and distribution company, that is discom companies in union territories will be privatized, so that brings efficiency, and that brings a culture where cross subsidy is not present and the rationalized price is taken from the people. It will be in line with the tariff policy which is to be announced. Space privatization to be introduced. Again, in ISRO also some projects we are trying to make satellites by the private companies, by the students, by the colleges. Planetary exploration, outer space travel, these will be open to private sector now. Atomic energy, research in public-private mode. This, see, the Modi government has a mandate of privatization. So everywhere somehow some tint of privatization you can see. So research reactor in public-private mode will be opened and set up for the production of medical isotope. Not for the defense. Remember that for medical isotopes we need nuclear, okay, nuclear material for medical isotopes. So that will be open for the private sector also. And the last one is fifth tranche, that is final dose. What is final dose? The fifth tranche of the economic package under the Atmanirbhar Abhiyan that was announced later. So it talks about health, disinvestment, states, unemployment and industry. What does it talk about? Health. Public spending to be increased, more health and wellness centers will be created. You know, your Arogya, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, we had for primary diseases, we had health and wellness centers created. So those numbers will be increased. Infectious disease hospitals and public health labs to be set up in all districts. We will do the disinvestment also. Suppose a loss making company is there from the government, we need to do the disinvestment. And if government is holding a lot of shares, we can sell some shares. And which Department of Investment and Public Asset Management, that is DIPAM, Department of the Finance Ministry, does that. Public sector firms in non-strategic sectors, okay, non-strategic sector, not the defense one and not the railway. Non-strategic sectors, public sector union undertakings, those will be privatized somehow. No more than 4 public sector undertakings to remain in a strategic sector. So in a strategic sector also we will delist some companies so that we can go for disinvestment. What about the states? Borrowing ceiling raised from, now a state can borrow 10.69 lakh crore. Previously it was that the states could borrow only 3% of GSDP, that was 6.41 lakh crore. So only a quarter of this hike is unconditional, rest are linked to some reforms in specified areas, that first you do some reforms, then only you will be allowed to borrow more money, because the government doesn't want a state to fall, okay, state to fail, that they come under this default thing. So for that care, government says that there is a ceiling, only till that ceiling you can borrow, but that ceiling has been increased. More risk, more gain. No risk, no gain. Unemployment, MG Narega scheme, you know, MG Narega's allocation hiked by 40,000 crore to fund 300 crore percentage. Okay, extra percentage are being funded, so extra money will be needed, and that will be aiming at giving migrants. Okay, migrants are present in different countries, different states. So who have returned home, so they will have an income option through MG Narega. A migrant worker in Punjab returned home to Bihar. Now he is having no work, so that he can go to MG Narega center. and do some work and earn some money. So we need some extra funding. That funding is 40,000 crore. Now industries, fresh insolvency proceedings suspended for a year. Okay, we will not do insolvency, and eligible loan size to be hiked from 1 lakh to 1 crore. COVID-19 related debt not trigger defaults. Firms can list abroad directly. So, if a firm has taken COVID-19 related debt, that will not trigger default under your IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Firms can list abroad directly and they can get some shares sold in different stock markets. So that is the whole thing about Atmanirbhar Bharat. Hope you understood that. This will also be useful in your mains also. And that is why it has taken extra time, right? Now coming to the SARFAESI Act, I told you why this is in news. Supreme Court has says that cooperative banks which are established under state law, a state law is establishing a cooperative bank, or suppose there is a multi-state level cooperating bank societies also, those all will be coming under the SARFAESI Act of 2002. This came in BJP government, the first BJP government, Vajpayee government you can say. So that time only this SARFAESI Act came, and this is a very popular law. This is about somebody defaults on a loan. In simple understanding, suppose that I had taken loan for my house, and now I'm not paying the loan. So government has some rights that if I'm not paying back the loan and my case is not valid, so government will take back my house. Those things are covered by SARFAESI Act. So this is about securitization, okay, securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of security interest. You see, enforcement of security interest, that is SARFAESI Act. So now Supreme Court says that these cooperative banks created by state laws and multi-state level cooperative banks, those are also under the ambit of SARFAESI Act, that those cooperative societies cannot escape. Supreme Court said that, further Supreme Court says that, see, banking as mentioned in Banking Regulation Act 1949 definition, banking cannot be confined to that very specific, very narrow definition, because the government has put banking in the entry 45 of list 1, and list 1 of 7th schedule is what? Union list. So once this banking term comes in union list, so even if a state creates a state by a state law the cooperative bank, that cooperative bank created by a state law, that will also come under SARFAESI Act of Union Government, because banking is mentioned in list 1 of the Union Government. So that is why we will not be limiting the banking definition to Banking Regulation Act 1949. We will also be checking that Union Government has jurisdiction over banking because it is present in entry 45 list 1 Union list. Also, Supreme Court says that we are not saying it for the first time. In 1970 verdict by the Supreme Court also, there was case, Cooper case, okay, RC Cooper case. In that case also, we had this idea that banking done by the cooperative bank comes under the entry 45 of list 1. So first we are sure that the banking done by cooperative banks is in union list, and second we are sure that so this SARFAESI Act will apply to those banks. So where does it fall? Cooperative banks come under the category of banks as defined under section 21C of the SARFAESI Act. In SARFAESI Act also it is mentioned that cooperative banks come under section 21C, and the recovery procedures mentioned under the law, those will apply to cooperative banks also. I told you about this SARFAESI Act. Now this is about recovery of the loan, taking back the money from the people if they are not paying back the interest. So we need to understand what is SARFAESI Act. Feature is what? SARFAESI Act feature is that it promotes the setting up of asset reconstruction. In simple terms, I told you that taking back the loan if the company or the person is not paying the interest. But this is not limited to that only. SARFAESI Act tries to set asset reconstruction companies, ARCs, and asset securitization companies to deal with the NPAs accumulated with the bank and financial institutions. Suppose a bad loan is created, NPA is created. This SARFAESI Act will do what? It will create asset reconstruction company and asset securitization company. Asset reconstruction company will do what? It will see that okay, fine, this asset means loan. This loan is in very risky situation. So loan is given to a company, and that company is not performing well. So this asset reconstruction company will go with that company and say that please improve the management, or maybe take extra loan in new terms and improve your things and increase production, rehabilitate, and then pay back our money. So those things are done by asset reconstruction company, or maybe the asset reconstruction company will buy that company in cheaper price. The act provides three alternative methods for recovery of non-performing assets. Once NPA is created, your SARFAESI Act provides three alternatives to you. First of all, we will see the second alternative, asset reconstruction. What is that? Activity of converting a bad or non-performing asset into performing asset. I told you, with the help of asset reconstruction company. Asset reconstruction company deals with this specific thing, that if there is a bad loan or non-performing asset, we will convert it into performing asset so that loan is given back, interest is given back. Then second is securitization. What is that? That is the practice of pooling together various types of debt instruments or assets, for example mortgages and other consumer loans, and selling them as bonds to investors. You understand that? Securitization is converting the asset into security share. So a bank had given loans to 5 companies, or 5 different type of loan it was given by bank. So what we will do, we will pool up every instrument, every asset together, and then we will create a combined pool, and that combined pool we will create shares for it. Okay, and the shares will be sold to investors. Those investors will be investing, and all these 5 companies which were not doing well might be, and they start performing good because they are getting the new investment. So that is securitization, converting a fixed asset into liquidity asset, you can say. Enforcement of security without the intervention of the court. Without the intervention of the court, this SARFAESI Act can go for enforcement of security. If the borrower defaults, the bank may enforce security interest. See, take possession of the security. I told you this. My house will be taken back from bank, that is by SARFAESI Act. Take possession of the security, sell or lease or assign the right over the security. The bank can sell my house also, give it to someone on lease, or maybe they will assign the right to someone else. Appoint a manager to manage the security. A building manager will be recruited, that you manage all its apartments, and if you see if it is performing well or not. Ask any debtors of the borrower to pay any sum due to the borrower. If there is any sum due to the borrower, this act will say, through this enforcement of security without intervention of the court, that please pay back your debt. So very conceptual topics. Atmanirbhar Bharat is completed and SARFAESI Act is completed. Sugar industry is also very long topic, so it will become 45 minutes or 1 hour maybe. So what I will do that tomorrow I will be doing this 5 topics. Okay, this topic is very small. TRIPS flexibility is fine. Labor law reform is again a big topic. Draft national fishery policy is very small topic, and sugar industry problem is a big topic. So tomorrow I will be completing these 5 topics, and then we can start with some new topics, some new section. Fine. Take care. Bye bye.